Here we go. We're live. This is week 8. This is how we are going to beat Vegas again. I will be taking your questions. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you check out the other videos I recorded this week. I am feeling it this week. Listen, I'm not promising anything, but there are some legit money picks to be had this week. I want to start off this podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, with thanking my fans. We're up to 6K, added 200 just after we reached 6K. So I want to say thank you guys. You guys are amazing, and keep sharing these videos and keep pounding that like button. What's up, JT? I see JT in the room. I'm just filler busting a little bit, letting people get in the room. I'm going to take questions from Patreon first. I'm going to take questions from the YouTube community section, and then I'll make sure I get to the questions in the live chat. In the live chat, if I missed your questions, make sure you just type them again. I don't have a moderator. I don't have someone reading for every question. So if I missed your question, make sure you let me know. Also, if you want to come on, leave your Gmail and just have a mic ready. I think I had 3 people on last live stream. It was pretty awesome. I enjoy interacting with you guys. So let's get this started. I'm going to start with the Patreon questions. Okay, the first question is from Addison Irwin. How do you think Tua is going to do in his first NFL start? Personally, I'm very excited. I might dabble with Miami on the money line. I'm not too excited. And I think, listen, I think Fitzpatrick at the moment, if you had to say which quarterback gives Miami the best chance to win, I think it's Fitzpatrick. And also, the Rams are a money pick for me this week. I think the Rams will decapitate the Dolphins. And we have to look at this Dolphins offensive line, and we have to look at this Rams defensive line, and we have to understand Tua is going to be under just an insane amount of pressure, and he better have his running legs ready, and he better be able to improvise, because if he doesn't, he's going to get hit a lot, and I think we're going to see some turnovers. I just don't think we're going to see all that great a game from Tua. And then there's a lot of people taking shots at Fitzpatrick saying, well, of course Tua is better than Fitzpatrick. I don't think so. And if you look at quarterback grading, when a quarterback is under pressure or hit, Fitzpatrick's one of the best in this league. And why is that important? It's important because this Miami offensive line has serious problems. So I see this game completely different than you. I see the Rams beating the Dolphins. And yes, we've won a lot of money on the Dolphins this year. No one's going to forget that week when I called the upset Miami over San Fran. I know we're not going to forget that week, but sometimes we have to move on and we have to adjust with the tides. And one of those tides that's coming is Aaron Donald is coming after Tua, and I don't trust this offensive line one bit. So I respectfully disagree with you, sir. I would not take Miami on the money line. Blago, I'm all over San Francisco. Do you think they can win in Seattle? I think they can win, but I think this is a game we need to be spectators for. I think this is a game we need to watch from afar. We already dipped our hands in the cookie jar with San Fran 2 weeks straight. And people said I was crazy when I picked them 2 weeks straight. But I think this is the week to lay off San Fran, although I think Seattle's really, really vulnerable. I think Seattle's vulnerable. I think we saw that in the Arizona game. Let's forget about Russell America Wilson in that offense, because that offense is potent. It's a top 3 offense in the league. But the thing I've been focusing on, I've been harping on all year, is the Seattle defense. And the Seattle defense can't really cover well, nor can they stop the run on. So I think that's why San Fran has a great chance to win this game. I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to work play action. I think they're going to keep it basic, and I think that's how they're going to win. Okay, let me get to another one of the Patreon questions. Then I'll get to your questions on the live stream. My bad about that. Matthew Munez. Munoz. Hey, Lawson, I was wondering for your Patreons if you can post with your picks how much to bet. Well, I mean, yes, I have been tempted to do that, but also I don't want you guys to get into the habits that I'm betting. Because there is no rhyme or reason. If I see a soccer game and I need to go all in, if I need to put 2 or 3 G's on it, I'm going to do that. I would not recommend that for you guys. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your mind. Um, Everyone has their own system with how much they bet. And I was thinking about this back and forth on the Patreon if I showed you how much I bet, but I don't know if that really helps. Like, for instance, on the Patreon, I'll give something I did bet. I bet that I put 1,500 on the Packers to win against the Houston Texans. But I would feel responsible when you had to go tell your girlfriend or wife or your kids if Houston won that game. I didn't think they were going to win that game, but also that puts pressure on me because I genuinely care about you guys, and I don't want anything bad happening to you guys. So I don't know if me throwing that I put out 1,500 on the Packers to beat the Texans, I don't know if that adds any clarity to your life or makes your betting life easier, if you know what I'm saying, my friend. Okay, let me get to the next Patreon question. Leonel De Leon, I like this name. If I have a 3K bankroll, how much should I lay on each game? Well, I think I had this conversation with him before. I think you should be betting 50 to 75 a game. I don't think that's all that bad, but it depends on the odds. It depends on the payout. It depends on your certainty level. Like, there'll be 3 or 4 NFL games a year where it's a college fun type game. Like, for instance, when I put up that big bet on Green Bay against Houston, it was a college fun type game for me. But not every money pick is like that. So I think between that 50 to 75 range is good. It also depends how much you're betting and how diversified you are. Are you just betting NFL or are you betting soccer like me? So I think it comes down to that. My average bet per game is probably between 75 to 100, but certainly if I see something that I can exploit, if I see a line that I absolutely love, I'm going to put more money. And the ironic thing is, I'm probably batting like 90% on those games when I put a lot of money. But also, I'm not one to like throw a lot of money too easy. Okay, let me get to more Patreon questions. Gary, what is your number one outcome of the week as far as point spread or over under? What are you most confident in? Rams over Dolphins, but I'll leave that for the Patreon. You don't want me to spoil the in-house secrets. Jesse Sepulveda. Lawson, can you go over the games that are supposed to have bad weather or talk about which teams they should favor? Like, listen, I think you guys are too autistic with the bad weather. Yes, I watch weather. Yes, it's something you need to watch, especially if you're targeting a game. But, like, for instance, I had people on here saying, Lawson, are we going to bet the Broncos again against the Chiefs because it's snowing? No. Let's not overreact to stimulation like that. Yeah, sometimes weather is going to play a factor, but sometimes I think you guys are reaching for advantages that aren't there. But if you give me the weather situation, if you give me the time, I'll talk about it. But really, I'm more into altitude, whether I'm betting soccer or when I'm betting a team going to the Broncos. I'm more into altitude. I think altitude makes more of a difference than 20 mile per hour gusting winds, for obvious reasons. Like, that's like basic like biological reasons as well. But yes, we should be looking at the weather. But I don't think we should be letting that be the judging basis of our picks. And then I know what you're saying with the question about over-unders and that you want to watch weather, but this is a reason why I don't bet a lot of over-unders. And I tell you guys, just do them for fun. Maybe bet one a week or maybe put them on a parlay. Because when you're switching a bet based on if it's going to rain or snow, I think that's taking away from the other work you've done this week. That's my opinion. But no, I understand the question, and I think you got a good point. Jordan Paisley, what's up, man? I know you've been super high on the Steelers all year, but for the game against the Ravens, I'm a little torn. So I'm trying to think outside the box for this one. Here's my question: would you take Pitt total touchdowns over under 2.5? Or Pitt total field goals over under 1.5. I would take the Pittsburgh field goals over under 1.5. I would go over. Yes, but why can't we just stay away from this game? Because we've already made tons of money off Pittsburgh this year. Why can't we just stay away from this game and understand that this game is going to be unpredictable? Remember with Devin the Duck Hodges or Mason Rudolph last year, I think Pittsburgh got a tie or they won by a late field goal. So I think when you look at a Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, there's a certain amount of surprise, and it's okay to say, I can't predict this. And it's okay to say that. And there's other meat to pick this week. I always want you guys thinking that there's always another piece of meat you can dip into this week. It's not just, you don't have to focus just on the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, because that's going to be one of the most unpredictable, crazy games of the weekend. Okay, let me get to the last Patreon question. Chris Curlin, John, aren't the Patriots right for a big win this weekend? I feel like Cam is playing for his career. I'm predicting he brings it and Patriots get it done in a big way. Yeah, I feel what you're saying, and listen, we've been betting against the Patriots. No other podcast was saying pick Denver against the Patriots. So we know the Patriots are trash. We know they're overrated. But also, we need to look at how the Bills have been playing. And the Bills really haven't played good football since that game against the Las Vegas Raiders. And when I'm looking at the Bills, I watched that whole game against the Jets. I know I've repeated it to you guys all week. This week, listen, the Bills looked really, really bad against the Jets. If the Bills played like that against the 49ers, who the Patriots faced, the Bills would have lost by 30 or 40. So I think we need to keep that in mind. Okay, let me get to the questions on YouTube. Someone's at Picasso Music. Why is the Bucks versus Giants game off the boards? Because of COVID. The Vikings-Packers was off the boards as well. I wanted to place a bet on the Packers, but it was off the boards. But I think they'll be back because it's not like a crazy COVID situation, and I want to change my pick. I use this as an announcement now, and if anyone heckles me on Monday morning, you guys are witnesses to that. I got Tennessee to win in the cover against the Bengals. There's just too many injuries with the Bengals. I saw 3 offensive linemen are out. Joe Mixon's out. So I will be officially changing my pick. Titans to win in the cover. Feeling pretty damn good about it. I don't like to have injuries shoot me over to the lane of certainty to money pick, if you guys know what I'm saying. But that Tennessee game, we have to change our pick. There's no way the Bengals can cover. I mean, 3 offensive linemen out. Like, Joe Burrow can work magic, but he's not Houdini. Yes. Let's see. And Lawson, let me know. I can send you some from me. Give me your IG. I'll hit you up. Yeah. Okay. San Francisco Chief. My Instagram is NFL Podcast 101. One sec. Let me type it. Yeah, add me on Instagram, guys. I use that more. I'm trying to use it more. You guys know I don't like the computer situation too much, but that's my Instagram. Add me there. I'm not the best with responding to messages, but I do a pretty decent job. I don't think I'm ignoring you if I don't respond, because sometimes I don't log in there for a few days. But add me there, because I like having you guys on there. Calvin Asari, Lawson, you think the Bucks will cover? Yes, I do, my friend. I think the Bucks will cover. Although I want to give the Giants a fair shake and say, okay, the Giants are trash. We knew that coming in. I got really frustrated when people told me the Giants defense was good. But the Giants defense is playing a little bit better. And the Giants as a whole, they've been playing a little bit better, not a lot better. So, but I still think the Bucks cover. I mean, this Bucks team's getting better by the minute. and it was my Super Bowl pick going in, and I took a lot of heat about sticking with the Bucs, and I did lose you guys some money against the Bears on Thursday night. But did I feel bad about it? Did I feel like I made a bad bet? No. If I made a bad bet, I would feel bad about it because I would lose you guys money. And I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel like it was a bad bet. I didn't feel like the fundamentals were bad. I know a horse when I see one. I know a horse we can ride to the money. And the Bucs are that horse. And it started with Green Bay week when everyone woke up. Now we're ahead of the curve, so we have to keep adjusting. But the Bucs, they're going to keep getting us a lot of money. I am tempted to bet them to win in the cover. It's just, you guys know me with points. We all have our little blind spots. I never like the points. When it gets over like 8-9 points, normally I take the points. Say like what I did with the Jets last week. Literally every comment was against me for taking the Jets with the points. But we have to remember that NFL, when you see a big point spread like that, beware. And if I missed your questions, just type it again. I'm going to get to your questions, guys. What's up, Travis Brooks? What's up, Gio Getting It? What up, Mike Walker? What up, Joe Anthony? What up, Adriel Heat? Adriel Heat, Lawson, what's your take on the Baltimore and Steelers matchup? I think it's going to be a close game, and I don't think we should bet. I think this should be one we should watch because there's a lot of questions. And I think here's my biggest question about this game. Okay, we know the Ravens offense is legit, but this Ravens offense isn't playing as good as it did last year. We know the Steelers defense is legit. We know the Steelers offense is getting better by the minute, and Big Ben is having a renaissance year, and we haven't even seen the peak of Big Ben. He's kind of in a jog, and as the season works on, he's going to get to a sprint. Probably same thing will happen with Lamar Jackson, but we'll see. But the biggest thing that's scaring me about this game is this Ravens defense, and they've played really good football this year. And I think that could be the X factor. That's why it's not a money pick for the Steelers. That's why I'm not on here telling you to bet the Steelers, because I have fear of this Ravens defense, and I think they can make some big plays. And they've been good stopping the run. I used to always say, go after Ravens with the run. That's how you attack this team. You keep Lamar off the field, and then I feel like you could wear them down. But you guys can chime in. Maybe I'm wrong about this Ravens defense, but they're one of the main reasons why I'm so cautious. Gio Getting It. Hey, Lawson, you think the Bengals still win? No. I changed my pick officially a few minutes ago. Titans to win in the cover. It's just too many injuries for the Bengals. Let's lay off it. Let's hope the Titans blow out the Bengals. Then we can get back on the Bengals next week and win some more money. The Bengals are going to be this year's version of last year's version of the Las Vegas Raiders. You guys remember how much money we won with Las Vegas last year? The Bengals are going to do the same thing for us the second half. But we need Vegas to keep doubting. Okay. Nikki Irachi. Raiders first half over 12.5. Tampa -13. Titans -7. No, I'm not in love with it. I agree with the pass, but I'm not in love with it. Money. 360 Ghostbuster. Lawson, no college picks. No college picks, my friend, because I have to tell you stuff that I'm educated in. And I don't have enough time for college football, unfortunately. College football is interesting. I did hit a college football bet last week. I bet Syracuse +48 against Clemson. I did get that one back, but that was just for fun. Okay, someone's saying they left questions on Patreon. Let me go check that. One sec. Okay. Is it Rick White? Is that your name on Patreon? Anyways, I'm rolling with it. Let me load more comments. Okay, one sec. Okay. We're good. Okay. After Green Bay bounced back, do you think they run away with it still? They have a good young secondary, but those receivers in Minnesota are pretty good, and they have a good run game. Does it come down to coaching Rodgers versus – No. This game's simple. Vikings have their two best corners out of this game. No Holton Hill, no Mike Hughes. The two best pass rushers, Ngakwe and Hunter, are out of this game. And even if they had them, I still would lean towards the Packers to cover. I know the -7's a lot, and with the COVID cases, it's probably going to push up a little bit more, right? You got to think maybe it might push up to like 8. But at the -7, -6.5, it was all week. Yes, I'm not going to bet against my own team. That's not what I'm going to do. But I just think the Packers come in and they take care of business. I think that's what they do. Yo, thank you for the super chat. Cab's back. Hey Lawson, thanks man for helping me make that money last week. Don't spend it all in one place. Of all your money picks this week, which game are you most confident with? Rams, Rams, Rams. They're probably my most confident pick. I really like what the Rams are doing, and I think Tua is getting thrown into a really, really bad situation. Johnny Cortijo, do you think the Bengals win? I came in late. No, we're off the Bengals. I changed my pick, Tennessee to win in the cover. Okay. Leon Verdura, what website do you use to find the injury list? Normally I use Pro Football Talk, or I'll just Google it. Calvin Osuri, college is trash. Yeah, dude, I've never been big into college. Like when I used to watch a lot of it, and I wish like my 15-year-old self knew how to gamble, because I would have made a killing, because I was obsessed with college football then. But I always loved NFL. I've always loved NFL more. Okay. Oh, Anderson Silva versus Uriah Hall. I got Anderson Silva. I think that's going to be a really, really good fight, man. I'm really looking forward to that. Let me get to the next super chat. You are the man. Money, 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 money. Yeah, dude, I love that catchphrase. But I want to just thank you guys, like all of you guys on here. Make sure you hit the like button too, so the show's up on YouTube. But like seriously, the 6K, great job. Like I appreciate you guys, and we're making a lot of money this year too. Like we've had upsets this year. That's been the crazy part about it. Okay. Yeah, Michael Mann says Dolphins defense has been solid. Yeah, but I feel like you can still run the ball against their defense, and I think a lot of their defense is scheme. I mean, I feel like Carolina's defense has been pretty solid this year, but I feel like a lot of it is scheme and not players. Samuel Flores says Rams money line. Yeah, I like that Rams money line too. Colts -2.5 versus the Lions from Leo. I'm riding with the Colts, but I did put the Lions on my teaser. This is similar. Remember what I did yesterday with Carolina, Atlanta? I didn't know who was going to win. I guess I went with Carolina, but on the teasers, I told you guys Atlanta +9 was a lock. I feel the same with Detroit on the teaser. I like Detroit on the teaser, but give me the Colts. And it's because I don't trust Matt Patricia or this defense to play physical football or stop the run. Like if Detroit could just stop the run, and if they would make Phillip Rivers throw it, Detroit damn well could win this game. Easy. Drake Cottingham, Lawson, who's the fave in the AFC so far, and can the Bills compete with the elite? I don't think the Bills can compete with the elite. Too many turnovers from Josh Allen. They don't really run, like for a team that has a running quarterback, they don't really run the ball all that well. They spend a lot of their time in shotgun. They don't really impose their will. I mean, they've imposed their will against bad teams. So, no, I don't think the Bills are a legit team in this AFC, because the AFC has the Chiefs. The AFC has the Ravens. And even though the Ravens have kind of fallen off this year, their defense is playing better. So maybe that might even be better in the playoffs, because Lamar still has 3 or 4 big chunk plays a game, whether you think he's going to be MVP level like last year or you think he's fallen off. The man still has 3 or 4 dynamic plays. The Chiefs are legit. On the Chiefs defense with Spagnuolo, ever since he arrived, they've been balling. And I like what I'm seeing out of the Steelers. That's been a big surprise for me. And then when I'm thinking of the Bills, or I'm thinking of a team that has another way to get in this discussion, like it would be the Raiders or the Bills. I don't think the Raiders are ready yet, and everyone thinks the Bills are ready. But can we really count on the Bills? And I think the Bills have a lot of problems in that game against the Jets. If you guys are thinking of betting the Bills this weekend, I really want you to just sit down and watch that Bills game. You can get it on the internet because I had to sit through it, guys, and it was one of the worst football games I've watched in like 3 or 4 years. I grew up watching Buffalo Bills games because for a little while I didn't have direct TV, so I watched every week the Buffalo fucking Bills. I've seen some really ugly football. I've seen lots of 6-10s. I've seen games with 23 and outs with the Buffalo Bills. I've seen some really bad football. That might have been the worst football game I've seen in quite some time. So, go for Darwin. Opinion on the Saints versus Bears. Yeah, I got the Saints. And the Bears are complicated because I said going into the year, if Nick Foles was the starter, I felt like the Bears would be a serious team. But when I'm looking at the Bears, this offensive line isn't serious. Maybe you guys can enlighten me. Maybe you guys can inform me. Are some offensive linemen coming back? Are they making any moves to shore up this offensive line? Because this offensive line is so bad, it is almost hard for me to watch. That's where I'm at. Lawson, been watching since the beginning. Thank you for all the hard work and dedication. You are making me rich. I appreciate it. Anytime someone can get some extra spending money in this world, it's good. Seriously. Okay, people are asking Drake about the Jets. I mean, Jesus, the Jets. But I mean, this dude's been a Jets fan for a long time. He's been following since the podcast started, and yeah, this dude has gotten nothing but pain from the Jets. Manny Miles, do you like the Raiders money line? Manny, I absolutely love the Raiders money line. I feel like this is a little bit of a trap we're setting. I feel like Baker's performance last week allowed us to set this trap. And we're seeing a lot of money go on the Browns. Not that I want you paying attention to that. That doesn't mean that anything's going to change once the bullets start getting fired on the field. But I really like the Raiders because it's dangerous against this Browns defense if you're throwing it 35 to 40 times, because that's when Myles Garrett can take over. Myles Garrett is a top 5 defensive player in this league. But if you run it straight at the Browns, if you get play action, if you use misdirection, because their defense isn't smart, they go for any play action rollout, they go the other direction. You can really get them on things like that. So I think the Raiders on the money line is a good bet. And I'm taking the Raiders with the spread. It's a money pick for me. Been saying it all year. I am a little bit nervous about it. But we also need to remember this Raiders defense is good this year. I'm not saying it's very good. I'm not saying it's like top 7 or top 10, but it is good. And we need to stop correlating this year's Raiders defense with the defense from 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, because we know those defenses were trash. But this Raiders defense is actually competitive. And we saw what happened last week against Tom Brady, but I still really haven't changed my opinion. Although that fourth quarter against Tom was pretty bad. But that's why we call it gambling. If it was simple, everyone would win money. Next game. So Steve Whitaker, he said the Seahawks cost him $15K. Yo, and that Sunday night game against the Cardinals was disgusting. If you're a Seahawks fan, they really blew it. Soccer picks, Jimmy. I'm going to put my soccer picks on my Patreon. Every time I do a soccer video here, it gets like 200 views. Like I remember, like during the summer, I did a soccer video with 6 picks. I was 6-0, but the thing only got like 200 views. So yeah, I do the soccer picks on Patreon. Okay. Steve Whitaker, hey Lawson, can you win me another BMW this weekend? Dude, if you're winning a BMW, send some money to my Cash App. Come on now. I have to eat too. If you're winning that, I would. Um, Princegram, much love, Jay. I won a lot last Sunday. Last night had Falcons and under, ready to punch it, and saw your new video, Panthers and over. I still believe in you, dude. Like, come on, like you shouldn't have been putting money on the over or under in last night's game. If you put money on, like, if you thought the Panthers or Falcons would win, fine. But last night's game, betting that over under, that's wild, bro. That's wild. Um, Hoop mixtape. Are you staying away from the Packers game due to high winds? Um, how high are the winds? Enlighten me. I don't know how high they are. That's going to affect Kirk Cousins, right? And things like that can affect Kirk Cousins more than Aaron the Game Rodgers. So you always have to factor that in play. I mean, the Vikings are getting Dalvin Cook back. I mean, and Dalvin Cook can make a huge difference. He's one of the best offensive players in this league. I mean, I've seen him completely single-handedly win games for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. But it has to be some heavy wins for me to think Minnesota's going to cover. It's just how high are the winds? Are we talking like Meadowlands, 20-mile-per-hour winds, or are we talking like 60-mile-per-hour winds? Argenis Pirella Rosales. You think the Bears could do anything against New Orleans? I'm not too confident, Mr. Rosales, because I'm not confident because I don't feel like this Bears offensive line can block it. And the Bears were looking pretty decent against the Rams on Monday night when they were able to get the run game going, staying in some sort of rhythm. But once they needed to pass, I don't know, man. That line is really, really terrible. And New Orleans has a damn good front, and they're also a vicious front. So I think they're going to put the pause on Nick Foles early enough, and that's one reason why I don't think the Bears could do anything. If you told me the Bears were going to get average offensive line play, I think the Bears could win this game. And I am starting to have some questions about Michael Thomas. This has been one of the longest injuries in a while. And then you have all the smoke and fire around it. I don't know what's going on with Michael Thomas. I don't know if that's an instant bet we can make that, Michael Thomas comes back, this Saints offense is going to be a humming. Because they promised he'd be back last week, and we saw how that transpired. Ranisha Brown, laugh out loud. I'm behind, but no, I wouldn't say how much or tell much everybody. Yeah, exactly, because everyone is different, and I don't want to be blamed for someone's suicide. Understand? Because there is a rule: you should bet what you can afford to lose. Although we're winning a ton here, so sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we're having too good a time. We're riding too high. I mean, we're picking the Broncos to beat the Patriots when everyone said we were insane. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it does go to my head a little bit, but I always try to stay grounded. Mr. President, should I moneyline the Raiders or keep the points? You know me, I'm Mr. Conservative. I'm going to keep the points, man. I want to keep the points. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example last week. This isn't the same example, but remember when I told you guys I was wavering about the money line with Cincy? I was wavering, making them a money pick. So on my Patreon last minute, I said, yes, I'm betting the Bengals plus 3.5. I won by half a point. So especially if it's a big wager, if it's a grown man wager, take the points. So like I think it's 2.5 right now. Yeah, that'll give you a little bit of comfort, especially since the Browns always do stupid shit. Like the Browns could remember that extra point against the Bengals? That won me money because the Browns just do stupid stuff. Detroit, what? Seattle cost me $758. Yes. And I think Seattle's going to cost some more people some money this week. Hoop Mixtape 91. Okay, he's saying that Packers game is going to have up to 40-mile-per-hour winds. That is something to think about. Um, I've been to a game in Buffalo before where it was 40-mile-per-hour winds. It depends. In one direction of the field, it didn't make a difference. Like when the Bills had the ball in the first half, it didn't make a difference. The quarterback was throwing it just fine. But when the other team had the ball during the first half, it was a serious problem. So I 40 if it was you can throw it's complicated. We have to know what direction it's moving in because you could have 40-mile-per-hour winds. Both quarterbacks could throw fine. It just depends if it's gusty. That used to be the problem with the old Meadowlands because the stadium was constructed in such a way that it'd create like almost like a tornado type wind tunnel. So you like it wouldn't just be regular wind where if you were throwing with the wind it would go really far, or if you're throwing against it you'd have to put more um, oomph on it. It just created like a tornado type shit where if you went to throw that ball, it just back that shit down. So in Green Bay, they've had lots of wind before though. So I don't know. 25 per hour. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be a problem, and I think you should go with the quarterback with the better arm. Aaron the Game Rodgers has a much better arm than Kirk Cousins. Um, okay. Yeah, David, I noticed the Packers game was off the board due to COVID, but it'll be back. The Vikings case, the Vikings just have like 2 cases, so I don't think that game's going to stay off the board rather long. Rye says I think the Rams are the biggest trap of the week. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why they're a trap? I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't know if they're the biggest trap. And I actually see a lot of people going with Miami. Um, so give me a soliloquy of why they're the biggest trap of the week. I'm quite curious. What about Chargers versus Denver? I got Denver. Davis getting 4 out. I got Denver, and I'm feeling Denver on this one. I'm feeling them at home. I think the Chargers are the better team. I think the Chargers have the better defense, but I think on the day, I think Denver's defense will make more plays. And then also, you have to ask yourself, okay, which team is going to run this ball better? I actually think Denver stops the Chargers run, and I think this is going to make Herbert one-dimensional. And then I didn't like a lot of the stuff I saw last week out of the Chargers. Everyone brushed it over and said, "Oh, they weren't playing hard. It was just Jacksonville." And no, no. The Chargers aren't in positions to overlook anyone. I didn't like a lot of the stuff I saw last week. Also, I didn't like what I saw last week. I didn't like what I saw with the Chiefs in Denver. Of course, I didn't. But I told you guys not to bet that. But I think this is one where I'm circling back to Denver. I think Denver will win and cover that game. Um, but I think Cortland Sutton's still out for Denver. That creates some problems. Drake Cottingham. Lawson, what's your over-under total yards for Le'Veon versus the Jets? I don't know. The Chiefs are too unpredictable. They got too many weapons. Like, I would say like over under like 50. I think he's going to do more in the pass game. Um, I don't know, man. Is Andy Reid going to be really motivated to throw Le'Veon Bell out there? He's probably going to throw him out for like what 10, 15 plays. I mean, this is a long season. Le'Veon Bell wasn't added for Week 8 against the Jets. He wasn't added for that. He was added for Week 18 in the playoffs in the cold when the Titans or the Steelers or the Ravens are coming into Kansas City. That's what he was at. So no, I would bet the under. I bet Vegas is like going crazy, like over under like 80 yards or something. Jose 007. What do you think of the Patriots now without Edelman and Harry? It doesn't make a big difference to me because neither are good. And neither can really do the things that the Patriots offense needs. So Edelman is full stop on out. So they're ruling him out for sure from what you're saying. That is a bit of a problem because Cam needs at least someone to throw to. But I think, like I said, I think this Patriots team is going to be able to run the rock. Samuel Flores, best bet to go all in. Green Bay money line to win. Last time I went all in with Green Bay against Houston, and I didn't even use the points. I just went Green Bay money line. But it's always dangerous going all in. It's always dangerous. Angel Torres, if you had a bet today, who will win the Super Bowl? Who would you pick? Buccaneers. Buccaneers. I think, well, first of all, I think the odds of the Buccaneers making it through the NFC is higher than any of these AFC teams because the AFC is a lot better this year. Do you guys see the Saints emerging? Do you guys see one of the NFC East teams emerging? Are we really serious about Seattle and that defense? I mean, you still got San Fran and the Rams lurking around, but are we really serious about the Seahawks defense at this point? I'm not. I think this podcast is gonna win a lot of money week 10 through 16 against the Seahawks. I'm not saying the Seahawks are trash. I'm not bashing the offense, but I've been saying all year this defense isn't legit. So I would go with Brady if I had to bet that. Okay. Jeff Christian Silva, is Broncos versus Chargers game going over 44? I think so, but that wasn't one of the ones I was targeting. Herbert for 28. Herbert can put up 28. Herbert's damn good, but I think at a certain point this Broncos defense will respond. Corey Moser, let's go Buffalo. Going crazy. Packers perform great at home. They do. But I've seen Dalvin Cook single-handedly almost get wins there. But this is a very, very weak Vikings team without a defense to speak of. So I agree with you. Indy versus Detroit. I think that's going to be an interesting game. I still got Indy to win in the cover. But I think we're going to learn a lot of Detroit. Because Detroit's added so many pieces to their front seven. Yeah, I still feel like they can't stop the run. I got to get my soda. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'll be right back. Leave your questions. Hit the like button. Oh, yeah, get my mouth dry. Okay, let's go. Here, I'm going to read Steve Whitaker's parlay of the week. He's got Rams money line, Raiders money line, Steelers +4, Packers money line, Georgia. We don't know what's going on in college. We don't know what's going on in college, and I wouldn't slam 800 on any parlay, Steve. Calvin Asser, Aaron Donald will eat Miami up. Yeah, like people are forgetting how much Ryan Fitzpatrick did with a really bad O-line. And it's not like they have a running game. I mean, like some of the commenters are acting like we're just plugging Tua in San Francisco where he's going to get tons of good boot play action and a good run pass balance. Miami doesn't have a good run pass balance. And Tua's fragile. So what I think is going to happen, they're going to ask what I think Tua's going to have to run this ball a lot. And this dude's fragile, dude. When you start tearing hips, when you lose your hip in connection to your bone and you have 23 years old, you are fragile. And you probably should stay in that pocket like Tom Brady does. But good luck staying in that Miami Dolphins pocket because that pocket is messy, especially against the Rams. The Rams don't have people are sleeping on this Rams defensive line because they don't have the elite edge rushing. But I think I would rather have a good push up the middle. And I think that's what they're going to get. So when Tua steps up, he's going to get a push up the middle. He's going to want to roll left, and then there's Donald. And they've been using Donald in the 7-9 technique. They've been using him inside. So good luck. We'll see. Um, Rick Cyrus, what's the lack of the week? Rams, probably. I got some other ones. I mean, there's no like lack, but there's some good money picks. Going crazy. Herbert is going to experience some rookie pains. Clint Richardson, Jacksonville could have stolen that. I completely agree. Earl Gaskins, who you like, Steelers or Ravens? I'm leaning towards Ravens, but there's no science here. This is a coin flip game. Do not bet this one. I repeat, do not bet Ravens and Steelers. Okay. Samuel, I already answered. Oh, bro, I'm from Venezuela. Your content is very, very good. Keep it going. What do you think about Pittsburgh covering the spread and San Francisco winning over Seattle? If you put a gun to my head, I'd say Pittsburgh would cover the spread, but I'm just not too into that this week. And about San Francisco winning, I like it, but like I said, I am a little bit cautious, and I didn't make that a money pick because we've just hit the money 2 weeks in a row on San Francisco. And they're in the middle of a gauntlet, and it's a gauntlet for a reason. They're playing really good teams. San Fran has a ton of injuries, but they're getting better. It's just I'm worried about this running back position for San Francisco. They need some big plays out of it, and every single game they get another running back injured. So that's worrisome for me. But if Seattle fucks around like they did against the Cardinals, San Fran will come in and win that game against 20 by 20, no doubt, no doubt. Joshua Ramshader, is Cincinnati an upset over Tennessee? Josh, I'm laying off of that. I changed my pick to Tennessee to win in the cover. I saw before I came on here that the Bengals have 3 offensive linemen out, Joe Mixon out. It's just too big an ask. It's too big an ask for Joe Burrow. It was setting up good for us, but when you don't have 3 members of the offensive line, when you don't have Joe Mixon, it just becomes impossible. The fundamentals were there, but we have to learn when to lay off, and this is the week. Yeah, Martin, I feel you. I feel Cincinnati might upset them. It's getting hard now. And I saw the point spread was up to 6.5. Like I wanted to take that, but you got to think Tennessee's going to go in there and lay down the law. Although a lot of times with Tennessee, we see them playing down to opposition. Like look at how they played against Minnesota. Look at how they came out that first half against Pittsburgh. This is just a really inconsistent team, even though they're good. They should be a team that's pushing for the AFC Championship, really, because they have a good style. They have a style that can match up with the Chiefs. They really do have a good style. And you add Clowney, it's just saying, okay, why isn't this team clicking? Why isn't this team better than the Steelers? Maybe it's coaching. I think Mike Tomlin's the best coach in this league, for instance, at this very moment. At this very moment, I think Mike Tomlin's the best coach in the league. I'm not saying he's better than Hoodie Bill Belichick, but I'm just saying at this moment, with his chess pieces, who's moving him the best, I think that's Mike Tomlin. That's another reason why I'm nervous about this Ravens game. I think Harbaugh is one of the most overrated coaches in this league. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not saying he's trash, but I think Mike Tomlin has that advantage. And we were just up to 200 people in this live stream. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, keep leaving your questions down below. I'm going to get to all of them. Martin Brown, are we allowed to post links in the chat? Yeah, go for it. I think YouTube might ban you guys, but go for it. I'm not going to report you guys or anything. Okay, Green Bay Packers. What kind of car are you hitting? I got this in Brazil. It was because normally I do the Jewel, the really small one, but I left it in an Uber, unfortunately. So I had to go get this one, and it's kind of strong. And in New York, we don't have flavors anymore, so you just have to pack like normal tobacco tasting stuff. So I used to like the blueberry. Now this is just normal, but it's good. It's good. Um, it's one of the comforts. It's one of the comforts of life. Terry Usher, you like the Raiders this weekend? Absolutely, I love the Raiders. Okay, I'm getting to your questions. If I missed your questions, just leave them down below. Some upsets, please. I already did the upset video. Uh, I d- what if the Jets upset the Chiefs? That would be hilarious. I remember in a similar situation, the Vikings were really good and the Bills were really, really trash. And it was a similar point spread. It was like 18, 19, 20, and the Bills upset the Vikings. I can't see the Jets doing that against the Chiefs, though. AM44, did you talk the Steelers game yet? Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the Steelers game. AJX Broncos 23-20. That's how I see it playing out. And that's exactly what the over under is. I think the over under is like 43 or 44. I bet that game does end 23-24. That's what I was seeing. I mean, that's the way I'm seeing the game play out. I mean, it could turn into a shootout. If it turns into a shootout, Broncos are going to lose, but I think it's in that 23-20 lane, and that's why I think the Broncos pull it out. Calvin saying Vegas will win a lot of money with the Steelers and Ravens game because it could go anywhere. Yeah, and I think people need to remember, and I used to say this on my other podcast, I'm always cautious betting Steelers games because Steelers and Cowboys games get the most action. They have the most fans. They have the most normie fans, people who don't really bet. They just go bet for fun with their friends. You know, you guys know what I'm saying. They're not really in this game. They're not really in this space, but they just do it because it's something popular. They're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go bet my Steelers." Or you see people on Facebook, they'll bet like Dolphins are going to beat the Rams by 20 points. You guys know how that goes. So yeah, I think Vegas is going to make a killing that game. Detroit, what you the man, Lawson? I appreciate it. Swag 69 swag. There's the 2 liter. It's diet now. It's diet. I'm not trying to have a heart attack or coronary blockage over here. M Stro 613. I'm betting my right knot on Tampa Bay. Well, yeah, I've done similar this year, and it's actually paid off, even though I've been getting lots of criticism about it. Rickett picks. Tua is going to find out how fast the NFL is. Yeah. On this Rams defense, they've silently revamped themselves. So it just feels like this defense is so much better. And it's not like they added a lot. It's not like they had big draft picks, but they are playing better. And I think the new defensive coordinator replacing Wade Phillips helps. I mean, nothing against Wade Phillips, but sometimes getting some young bloods in there. Pats over Buffalo. Yeah, I like the Pats. I like the Pats in the surprise, especially with the 4 points. Or if you're going to throw them on a teaser, I do like that. Domingo Davis. Do you think it's a favorite this week? Yeah, but we did mention the Raiders game as one we're targeting. Let me bring up the list. One second. Let me bring up the list. I mean, like I could see the Lions pulling something sneaky. Um, uh, yeah, I think it's a favorite week, but I'm surprised that Steelers game is plus 4.5. That is interesting. See, that's enticing me, but that's what a spread's supposed to do. It's supposed to entice you to bet. Chicago Bears are up to plus 5. Let's not get too crazy there. Um, any of you guys got a read on the Eagles Cowboys game? Who's even starting at quarterback for the Cowboys? Because when I'm not betting a game, I don't really follow all the integral details. So what's going on with that situation? That's one thing I want to find out. Yo, Mike, if you're still watching, I'm going to send an invite for you to come on. I don't know if you're still on. Herbert is the real Leo. When will you post more soccer pics? You kill it with soccer. Yeah, if people forget that South American Brazilian soccer is my main nut when it comes to this gambling stuff. I only post it on Patreon, Leo, because every time I post it on here, I only get like 150, 200 views because everyone here, like, they just want the NFL, which I understand. So I do it on my Patreon. I'm pretty active there posting soccer. Like I remember one time it took the wind out of my sails. Like I picked 6 soccer games. I was 6-0. They were easy. You didn't even need a sweat when you made the bet, and it got like 150 views. So that's why I stopped. Dennis McPherson, what is your lack with spread with highest percentage? I'm not sure. Um, Probably like 68, 70% if I'm betting. Um, like for instance, 2 weeks ago I was like 4-0 on my NFL on the Patreon. Last week I was like 3-2, so I rarely have a losing week. Cade Garish, do you think Vegas has been rigging teams covering spreads on primetime games? I'm taking Giants plus 12 because public money will be on the Bucks. Maybe. I do think I do think the NFL tries to keep these primetime games close. I do think that's reality. Is it for the spread? Is it for money? I'm not sure. I'm not going to go there. But yeah, I think there's always a danger. Listen, but there's always a danger in the NFL when the spread's more than 8 points. Hence why I picked the Jets last week to cover like the 12 or 13, whatever it was. And everyone said I was wrong. Not that I bet that game, but I've won a lot of money betting teams to cover 10, 12, 13 points, but I like taking the points. I don't like taking the favorite in that situation. It's against my fundamentals. It doesn't mean that my fundamentals are right every single time. Like if I had to make a bet, I would take Tampa Bay to win the cover. You just have to believe in the Giants. Like Giants have been playing a little bit better, but this Tampa Bay team is warming up to say the least. So I would be cautious about it. Saints covering the spread probably. Although now that it's up to 5, it's getting a little bit more complicated. Swag 69 swag Titans -1 in the teaser. Yeah, I could see that. Richard Williams, do you like Pittsburgh plus 17? Of course. Of course. How much are you adding to that teaser? I didn't know they had teasers over 10 points. 626 Lunatic, who you got? Seahawks, Niners? I got Niners, but I'm not as sure as the last 2 weeks about the Niners. Ricket picks, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Leo, we should all smoke with Lawson. I agree. It's one of the most relaxing activities. Might not be the most healthy activity, but it's better than like just straight up taking like the old cigarettes. Domingo Davis outside of the Raiders, I feel it's a favorites week. Yeah, we're vibing. People are trying to put a seed of doubt in my head about that Miami game against the Rams. It reminds me a little bit of when people were really putting the seed of doubt in my head about that Green Bay Tampa Bay game. I was going with Tampa Bay. There's even people saying like, "Oh, Lawson, you're an idiot. I'm unsubscribing." This was a great podcast. This was a great episode until I heard you say Tampa Bay was going to beat Green Bay. So, like, sometimes people will put stuff in my head. They're really putting the Miami upset over the Rams in my head, but no, I'm not going to be swayed this week. Definitely not. No Giants over Tampa Bay. Let's be reasonable here. Rob Lane, do you agree that with going into bye week affects you? Actually, Rob, I like the bye week. Like for instance, in a normal circumstance, if the Vikings had like a decent team, if they were playing a little bit better, I would really love the bye week for the Vikings to get ready for Aaron and Game Rodgers. I think the bye week helps. It's just so there was a guy who wrote like a 2-paragraph comment that says he just bets teams that are coming off bye weeks. Like, for instance, he would default bet Minnesota against the Packers this week just because they're coming off a bye week. Don't do ridiculous stuff like that. I think the bye week can help, but come on now. Let's not get overboard here. That's just autism. I don't have another word for it. That's just someone who is so lost. They gave up analyzing the film. They gave up watching the games. They're just drowning here, and they're just looking for any sort of angle to do it. If you're only going to bet on like a little autistic future like that, like this thing ain't for you. And like, are you even enjoying sports at this point if you're betting on little autistic futures like that? I don't think so. I actually have a soccer pick for you guys tonight. Let me show you. One sec. I don't. This is just a little thing. One sec. Let me show my screen. Let me show my screen. No. Yeah. Okay. Let me show it. Am I showing my screen? Let me go to. Yeah, I got this. This is the second division of Brazil. I'm taking the +1. So it's just a little small bet for tonight. I'm going to get off of this and watch the game a little bit. So it's just a small little one for you guys tonight. Dom Rossetti, Denver is a lock. I wouldn't say a lock, but I feel good about it. It was enough for me to say money pick. And it's important that we give Denver their proper credit, but we be realistic about them. And we like we can't let our biases get in our way. Remember when we hit Denver against the Patriots a few weeks back? That was like the funniest thing ever. Everyone said we were wrong. People were saying we should be put in a psychological center because we're going nuts. It was good. And then, but you want to know what was even better? The next week we laid off that Chiefs Broncos game. That's what Vegas hates. They hate when you come in there, you grab the cookies, you grab the money, and you get out. And they hate when you're able to lay off the next week. They hate that. They absolutely hate it. Old child, hit the like button, costs you nothing. Over 200 watching with only 60 likes. Yes, come on now. Hit the like button. I mean, dude, it takes like 1 second to go hit the like button. And I know I hate living in this day and age of technology and algorithms. Algorithms control what you see on YouTube. But damn, hit the like button so more people can find the show. I mean, I know maybe you guys want to hold the secrets or you want to keep it tight knit, but damn, hit the like button. Help me out. Come on now. I know you guys help me out a lot with the Patreon and you share the videos with friends, but goddamn, hit the like button. Come on now. Come on now. Let's not be petty about it. Alan Martinez, what's your favorite soccer teams? My favorite soccer team is a team in Brazil, Fortaleza. I like Santos, Pele's old club. In Europe, I like PSG because I'm a Neymar fan. I don't really have a European team per se, but I do like PSG because Neymar. I've always liked him. I always was a fan. And probably another team I like is Brazilian national team. I used to really like the United States national team, but now like they wear like LGBTQ jerseys and shit like that. I don't really vibe with that, you know. Like maybe I'm more South American than American at this point. But yeah, that's just me. I don't want to wear like LGBTQ flag when we're playing game of soccer, and I don't want to hear about Megan Rapinoe or things like that. I just want to fucking watch soccer. Dennis McPherson, how many picks have you changed since Tuesday? Just one. Just the Tennessee pick. I made a live announcement here. That's the only one I changed. Shayna White, Benaducci. Cowboys lost some Ben Denaducci. Who's Ben Denaducci? Chris NFL Pick'em Show. Pats over under 21. Wow. under. But I got them going just in. I got them like scoring 17 or 20 points. So, and I think they get turnovers off Josh Allen. So don't be surprised if that pops to over. But I like the under. I like the under for whatever Vegas is giving you for the Bills point total, go under as well. Clint Richardson, he says he's on Philadelphia minus 6.5. Is that halftime? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's playing quarterback for the Cowboys. I asked you guys, and you guys couldn't even throw out a name. So you guys got to give me who's playing quarterback. Todd Lauder, what do you think about an 11-game teaser? Don't do it. Stick to 6 or 5. I would prefer you guys not go over 5, even on teasers. Guys, come on. We got to do our math here. Listen, I failed math in 9th grade, but I've always been good with statistics. I always remember numbers. Listen, Todd, you could have the best. You could be better than me. You could be better than Nostradamus in predicting the games, but you can still get caught and lose everything, even if you were perfect. I don't get these parlays and teasers with you guys. I love teasers. Yes, do one a weekend, but keep it to 5 teams, for heaven's sakes. Like, I've cashed in 3 teasers this year. 3 teasers. And yes, they're fun, but I'm not letting them rule my life, and I'm not trying to go for a bigger nut. Get your nut and get out. Andres Morales. Lawson, what's up, my guy? What's up, Andres? Man City and Liverpool tomorrow for sure. I'm going to watch that. I hope it's not at 8 a.m., though. My God. I hope it's at 11:30 like normally the games are. Pittsburgh +4, Raiders money line, and over 53 in Tennessee since the game. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. I agree. I think it's important you guys start watching soccer so you guys can just find something good to bet on and also just avoid all this stuff. Like, it's every time you turn on the TV in America, they're telling you to vote or they're telling you Trump bad, Biden bad. It just gets old after a while. Or they're telling you guys you need to wear an LGBTQ jersey and stuff like this. It's just too much. Ron L says take Porto versus Olympique Marseille, November 3rd. Why? Do you know something we don't know? I like Porto, though. So I see what you're going with. Porto just signed a really good 19-year-old from a team in Brazil. He's really good. Once I get my money up, one of my goals, one of my dreams in life, if we have any millionaires watching, if you guys want to make even more money, let's start a sports agency. I'll find the youngest, best Brazilian soccer players we can make money. That's my dream. That would be my dream job, man. CP, Johnny Boy, what's up? What's up, CP? I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you guys coming in here. Herberto Aguiano, my bookie quit. Where can I get a new one? The internet, my friend. The internet's a lot better way to do it. Even though sometimes you have to use Bitcoin, and you can just get Coinbase or whatever they allow in your country. I'm not sure if you're from the United States. J702 Rebel, what's up, Lawson? You still like the Rams? $4 pick? Yeah, I like the Rams. People have been trying to change my mind, but I do like the Rams. All right, I'm falling behind on these questions. Chris Lure, Green Bay cover 7, yeah. Although some people did sprinkle in some reasonable doubt with it because there's going to be high winds. But Minnesota's defense is trash, and now they're losing their 2 starting corners. They lost Ngakoue. Hunter's not playing. So, yeah. 626 Lunatic, you said Carolina to win the game. Like, not really. I said it was a coin flip, and no one really knows who's going to win. And if you, listen, I bet you didn't bet Atlanta. Show your betting slip. I didn't bet that game. And you want to see something? You want to see something? I'll show you something. I used my free play money I gained last night. You want to see something, my friend? Okay. Okay, you want to challenge me? Let me show you. Let me show you this, bitch. Let me show you this, bitch. Oh, oh, oh. Oops, oops, oops. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. And if you listen to the teaser video, I already said I fucking changed my pick to Atlanta. But I didn't care if people got on me about Carolina. I really didn't care. Yeah, it was free play because it was because sometimes they give you free play because they give you a percentage of your bets. So yeah, I used a free play, man. I wasn't that serious. I mean, but if you're gonna judge someone on if they had Carolina or Atlanta to win last night, like you're in different land. You're like never gonna make it in this game. Like you're never gonna make it. You better just hang up the keyboard or whatever you used to bet. You better just put it in the fucking closet and lock it away. I mean, Jesus. Um, Chuck Fu, what's up, man? Who's your lock of the week? Rams. Shannon Spicer, what's up? What's up? Well, yo, Shannon Spicer, I haven't seen you in a while, man. You've been you've been ghost, man. Oh, Ben DiNucci, Shayna, thank you, Shayna. I was wondering who's Ben DiNucci. It sounds like a used car salesman in New Jersey. Okay, okay. Thank you for educating us. Um, um, I like Syracuse, but that's because it was my local team. So I don't bet too much college football because you guys have to watch a lot of it. Like honestly, I think to be like a top rate better for college football, I think you should have to cut NFL out of your life. I think it's just college football, college football, college football. Um, Talk sports. Thank you. Maybe one day. Imagine their job. Imagine you get to sit down Monday morning and you get to make the spreads. Although they use a lot of computers now, but I still think they still have people who sit in that room and they craft the spreads, right? To be a king, who should I bet? Steelers or versus Ravens? Like I said on this podcast today, don't bet that one. There's other meat to bet. There's plenty of other meat to bet. Mr. Lawson playing both kinds of football. Yeah, like seriously. I'm going to tell you guys something you probably won't believe because you guys know I'm a little bit overweight. I'm a white dude who spent my whole life pretty much in snow, although I did live in Miami and Florida. I seriously think I could have been a professional soccer player. Every day in Brazil, I would go to the beach. I would play soccer against like these like street kids, and I would fucking whoop their ass. And they said, "Dude, how are you so good?" I said, "I don't know. Every time I come here, I just play on the beach. When I lived in Miami, I'd go to the beach every day, and I would play soccer. Like, um, I've I seriously think I could be a professional soccer player. I seriously think I could in a different age because you need to start early. You know, like they start professionally when they're 15, 16. But yeah, man, I think I would rather be a professional soccer player than a professional NFL player. But yeah, we all have dreams, right? Chuck Fu, what's the most you ever put on a game? 5,000. It was last year. I put 5,000. Vikings were coming off the loss. I forget against who, but it was a bad loss. Maybe they lost to Green Bay where they blew the game. And Stephon Diggs was wanting to be traded. So I put $5,000 on Minnesota -5 at the New York Giants. You guys can go back. I believe that was like week 4 or 5 last year. I even got Gift to put the money on it too. That was the biggest bet I ever made. Also, the second biggest bet I ever made was a futures bet. I put $4,000 on Brazil to win the Copa America last year. And I won it, but I would not recommend anyone doing that again. I was sweating. I was also in Brazil, so I was like feeling fucking comfortable. Like I was getting really mad during the games, like because I had to watch a lot of games to get to the final. And so they got to the final, they finally won. But like, dude, I was like losing hair. Like one time I was sweating. I was sweating in my girlfriend's house. I did this, and she's like, "Dude, like all this fucking hair came out of you." So I was stressed. Samuel Flores, how do I manage my bankroll? Well, I want you to take it slow. I want you to bet like between 50 and 100 every game. But if you know something's a lock, like there'll be like 3 or 4 college fund games a year, like with the Giants and the Vikings, like last year. You guys can go back to the videos and check it. There's just certain games where you know there's a mistake, where you know people are being over dramatic, and that's when you have to shoot the trick. Um, like I'm getting those same vibes about the Rams game, but I'm not certain. That's why I'm not on here telling you to pawn the wife's wedding ring to go bet it, because we have to. I always show respect for the other team when I'm betting, even if it's someone I fucking hate, like Baker Mayfield. Um, there's another reason why that's not a college fun game. All the fundamentals set up for me, but there's just that extra keeping me from not making. So yeah. Ron L says Air Force Falcons, Rice Owls, Navy Midshipmen, Iowa Hawkeyes. Yeah, throw a fantasy one at me. I'll answer some fantasy. Chris says, I've played soccer and football my whole life, and I've seen chubby soccer players that were awesome at it. Yeah, for soccer, it's about the thighs. An old Brazilian doctor told me this one time. I said, okay, why do you think, is there a physiological reason why Brazil produces all the soccer players? He says, he pointed right to my thigh. He goes, you need thick thighs like you have. He goes, the people in Brazil have the thickest thighs. That's what he said to me. So yeah. Conference dogs are 10-1 this year. Denver is that team. The one loss was Denver. Interesting. Okay, let me get to some more questions. Focus Sports, what's up, man? What's up, Focus Sports? James B, what was that soccer game you gave out? Let me type it out. One sec. Oh, how did I end up in Brazil? Like, I've always was interested. I've always wanted to visit. And then I met a woman here. She lived in Miami, but she's from Brazil. So I visited Brazil with her a few times. That didn't work out. But then I met another girl in Brazil. Then I've always visited. I want to live there full time. I'm saving money to live there, although have complications because my girlfriend obviously wants to live here because the United States is a lot safer. Let's be realistic. But I'm going to bring her here and I'm going to show her that this country is really like in decay. So in a way, we're not going to be able to avoid the violence. We're not going to be able to avoid things getting worse because things aren't getting better here, whether you want to like say it is or not. So yeah, so it's just about that. Yeah, no, I agree. It's crazy. We're talking football, but Adam, it's not love advice. I've just about finished. We've talked all the football we can. I've been on here like an hour 20. So subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos. Appreciate it. Before you guys leave, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you.